Hi everybody, this is Patty and I'm coming today with a project for Meg's Garden Design Team, and I am using the French Garden Book Kit and also the French Garden paper collection. And then I'm also going to be using one of these gorgeous butterflies, and this is called More Butterflies, and you can get this acetate sheet of butterflies at Meg's Garden. And I have also used some paper that I have tea and coffee stained. And I used Victorian velvet. Where is it? Here it is. Victorian velvet, and you'll see this in a minute, to change up the colors so it went more with the color scheme of the papers. What had happened was I wanted to make this one last book, and I've already made a couple of projects out of this collection. And I created the book and had it all ready, and then when I went to cover the pages with the decorative paper, I found that I didn't have enough left. So then I had to be a little creative. So this will be a good way to show you if you don't have enough, you can always squeeze it out to make it work. My book is a front cover, a back cover, and a spine out of black chipboard. And I punched holes with my cinch in the front and the back and on both sides of the spine. And then I took this really pretty velveteen type ribbon that I have, and I laced it kind of like a corset would be up the spine this way, so that that's what holds the book together. And then on the front, this was just a little dream that I had in my collection, and I used some alcohol inks in the greens and the pinks to pull in the colors from the papers. This little vial came from Meg's, and I just have some glitter and a couple of little stones in it, crystal stones, so when it moves around you'll see them. This is the, oh geez, I don't remember what this is called. This just piece of webbing from the store, and the metal pieces are from the store. What I did was I cut each piece of the metal piece in half, tapped half on one side and half on the other. Of course, my grosgrain ribbon is kind of, or seam binding is kind of covering up the one on this side. This little guy tucked in here and here is also cut in half. It comes from Meg's, and it's a laser cut corners, frames, and scrolls. These are really pretty because you can ink them up with any color and change them up to fit whatever you're doing. So, whoops, let's get in frame and let's go out just a little ways. So when I open it up, you can see what I've got here. So this is how I laced it on the inside with the ribbon and tied it again, pardon me, in a bow at the bottom. And let's start over here on the left side. I had this little everyday planner book, and I thought, well, wouldn't that be pretty to tuck into this? So I took a Tim Holtz, one of those, I don't know what you call them. They're like a rubber band with the little metal clippy thing in the inside. And I attached a bow that I've made out of some satin and a little charm. This is from the paper collection here, and a piece of lace. And then you can see I just covered up the inside portion that goes inside here with the back of the book. This one happens to go clear through 2017 or 2016. So even if I give it to somebody now, it's still well worth it. I just covered it, glued a few pages to the front, and I roughed up the edges and painted them with this Victorian velvet as well, so it completes the theme. And then you just put the elastic around it. May have to glue that little charm, that little bird, so it stays where it's supposed to stay. But I thought that made a pretty little addition. And then on this side, this is one of the acetate. Let's go in just a little bit closer. This is one of the acetate butterflies here, and this just left a pocket. So after this is out of the book, you still have this pocket that you can put many photos in. Now, it magnetizes at the top and folds down. And here's where I said I had to kind of get creative because I didn't have enough paper. So I took the one paper that was the bird cage, centered it in the middle, added some white strips on the side, and then the green to bind it off. Across the bottom, because my paper, decorative paper, only went to here, I added these cutouts from the paper and cut up around it. So now I have a pocket that I can put these little tags in, or you could put photos or journaling or whatever you wanted to have in there. And that just pops up and it has a magnetic clasp. Now this part has a little flap in and it just tucks underneath here with a magnetic closure to hold it. So when you undo this part, it flips up. Well, Jiminy, I guess I'm going to have to go out just a little wider. Here we go, so you can see it. When you've unflipped this and flip it up, then you've got two more sections for photos and some journaling here. And you can see again, I've split the paper. Wasn't quite long enough, so I added the little strip at the top. Now when you undo the magnets here and flip it up, you've got another section here and here for photos, and I just put some little trim. This is where I said I used this tea-dyed paper that I had, and I used the Victorian velvet, and it pulls all the colors together then. And this strip, I just put a tiny piece of 1/8 inch like score tape across it, and then on the inside, this side of that strip, I added a tiny little strip of glue so that when this goes in, it's going to stop at the glue and not hit that score taping when it gets stuck. So you can put a photo on both sides here, plus a photo there. So there's 3, and the same thing with this. And it just tucks in, and then it folds down. Let me go up a little bit. Folds down again, and folds down again. I don't know if I can go out one more. There we go, without you seeing my messy desk, but that's okay. We'll just push the stuff out of the way. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sections here where you can put photos. And on this one, I just took a scrap piece of paper and I cut my own little decorative edge around it. Put in a couple scraps of the paper that I had laying here. I didn't bother with the sizes all being the same because I thought they kind of looked neat differently. Again, I took a decorative piece of scrap paper and just cut around the edges and inked them. Here's a piece from the paper and a couple little mats from the paper. Here's some more of the tea dye that I've redone with the greens to pick up the greens here. And then on this one, I took the larger one of these, it's on the front cover, and I laid it down and I inked around it and held it in place like a stencil. So the front and the back of this have that pretty little design on it from that laser cut. And then inside is just a little booklet. But I thought that made a pretty little book to tuck in here. Oh, there we go. Inside you go. There we go. And I just roughed up the edges around the edges on it. And then you pull it up. Let's see if I can get it back here. Pull it up again, and we've got another one that's the decorative edges at the top. And I just glued them at the base part here so that it left the little pockets. You could glue them all the way down, but I figured if you tucked a photo underneath here, then you would have a decorative edge across the top of your photo. And here again, I used some of that lace and made a tuck in. And then it's glued directly to the book. So it flips over this way. It flips out this way. It flips down with that little flap in it that way and magnetizes. Well, maybe. What have I done here? Maybe this way. There we go. Like that. And then this tucks inside. I'm going to leave that out for a minute because I think it might want to bounce all over the place. Now on this side, I just have a simple, let me see if I can go in just a little for you. I have a simple waterfall, but instead of a vertical one, I have a horizontal one. So it just flips here. So you have room for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, and 16. 16 pictures on this section, and then you have room here to write a little something about each one of the pictures. Now this is the one that I told you. Let me see if I can find that here. Where is it? Here it is. This is where I told you that I took this and laid it down and inked around it like a stencil, and that's what I used, was that little laser cut. And then that's the perfect color here to tuck a photo or something into. So another idea for it. So that's my project. It's very simple, really. It was just a matter of figuring out how I wanted my folds to go, and then how I wanted to be able to tuck in this little book and still be able, when I gave it away, to be able to utilize this pocket for something else. And there we are. And again, the binding and the back. I left the back just plain. The paper is so gorgeous. It's really difficult to cover it all up. I will have a lot of still photos following. Thank you very much. Check out Meg's Garden. She has some brand new collections that have just come out. This one is absolutely beautiful. Just love it. So thanks for joining me, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.